See Family Records. Learn to find your family in the 1800 census. What can be found? Homes, head of household, age, gender, race, and slaves. The 1800 census did not have a standardized form. The census takers would write out the column titles on the beginning, but usually did not rewrite this at the top of other pages. The images found in this presentation can be found on Ancestry.com. The information in 1800 is sparse, but we can learn about the location of homes, names of the head of household, a little about the families, and a few other facts. The next few pages show some of the different census pages at the top of the page. Since no form was provided by the government, each county created their own. This is Gainesville District in South Carolina. This provides handwritten headings. These examples show that it is often difficult to read the column titles, which makes it difficult to figure out what the tick marks mean for each family. This is from Georgetown, Washington, D.C. This is from Northumberland, Pennsylvania. This census taker created a simplified column titles at the beginning of each township. This was clear and makes it easier to read what each column represents. Notice though that there are tick marks going the opposite direction that sometimes make it confusing. These are bleed through from other pages and should be disregarded. Name. To the left is an example of heads of families taken in Augusta Township, Northumberland, Pennsylvania. This census taker alphabetized his list. To the right is from Duck Creek 100, Kent, Delaware. Most census takers listed the heads of household in the order he visited them. This is actually better because people tended to live near family members. This is an image of the head of household from Bloomfield, Ontario, New York. The census taker listed the people in the order he visited them. People often lived with families that they moved to the area with, so if you can't find something on your family but research a few of the families listed near your family, you might be able to find where your family came from. Sometimes women were listed. Usually it was because they were widows and left as head of the household. This is an indication to look for wills for their husbands, as these women were left with property to become the head of the household. This is from Duck Creek 100, Kent, Delaware. Rachel Carroll, Henrietta Darling, Mary Griffin, and Rhoda Lewis. Census takers often used handwriting styles from other countries. Captain Jesse Ford. When there was a double S in cursive writing, it was common to use the FS symbols to represent SS, as seen in the name Jesse. Two men were listed as captain. This means they were likely a captain in military service. This is a clue to search for military records, especially during the Revolutionary War. Captain Jesse Ford, Captain Josiah Wallace. Census takers often abbreviated the names. This page has two names abbreviated. BENJ for Benjamin, SAML for Samuel. Look for matching last names. There are 3 men that are head of household with the last name of Ford or Ford on this page. It is very likely they are related. Captain Jesse Ford, James Ford, and John Ford. Home. The town that people lived in was usually only listed on the first page of that town. If it is not on the page your family is listed on, you will need to look for the first page to find the town name. Augusta Township, County of Ontario, Town of Bloomfield, Duck Creek 100. Age. To the left is a section from Augusta, Northumberland, Pennsylvania. This census taker did a nice job writing the column titles, so it is easy to read. 0 to 10, 1800 to 1791. 10 to 16, born 1790 to 1785. 16 to 26, born 1784 to 1775. 26 to 45, born 1775 to 1756. And 45 and older, born 1755 and earlier. This is what most census column titles look like. Most of the column titles are only found on the first pages of the town. Here is the family of Samuel All. His family is fairly easy to read because he is listed below the column titles. Most people are on pages with no column titles. 0 to 10, born 1800 to 1791, 1 male. 10 to 16, born 1790 to 1785, 1 female. 16 to 26, 1784 to 1775, 1 male and 1 female. 26 to 45, 1775 to 1756, no one. And 45 and older, born 1755 and older, no one. This is a comparison of Michael Grove in 1800 and 1810 in Northumberland, Pennsylvania. These comparisons are hard, but useful. In 1800 census, there was 1 male, aged 10 and less than 14, born 1786 to 1790. In 1810, there was 1 male, 16 and under 24, born 1786 to 1794. In 1800, there was 1 male, 45 and older, born 1755 or earlier. In 1810, there was 1 male, 45 and older, born 1765 and earlier. In 1800, there were 2 females, 0 to less than 10, born 1791 to 1800. In 1810, there were 2 females, they were aged 16 to 24, born 1786 to 1794. In 1800, there was 1 female, 26 to 44, born 1744 to 1756. In 1810, there was 1 female, 45 and older, born 1765 or earlier. Gender. We do not learn the name of each person, but we learn how many males and females are free white persons living on the property. Free white males, free white females. Race. There are a few distinctions for race. White persons, all other persons except Indians not taxed, slaves, which we're usually referring to black persons. 1800 Census Challenge. See if you can find the following: where a family lived, a relative in the 1800 census, the age ranges and gender of a family with slaves. The end.